Welcome or welcome back to Betide, and this is the part 4 of the Edgegap Integration Kit series, where we would be covering how to do team matchmaking with the new Edgegap Gen 2 matchmaker. It's pretty easy. The docs uh, do make you look do make it look that it's a bit difficult, even with backfill for that matter. Like they were a bit complex, and Edgegap team is working on making it simpler, but in reality, the process is much simpler than PlayFab's team matchmaking. And I realized that last night when I completely finished the process. So that said, let's get started. It's going to be pretty straightforward, but still I will explain everything before I start the video so you know what you are going to do and why we are going to do this stuff. Let me know if you have any questions. Please make sure that plugin is on the latest version, that is 1.5, I think. It's on 1.5, and because these plugin nodes that we are going to use are only present in the latest version. Gen 2 update for EGIK came just 2 days back. So again, make sure you are on the latest version. That said, let's meet in the next one. So let me quickly get you through the complete logic. I made a pretty nice flowchart, but as you see, it did not end well. The size is not what I made it for, and there are a lot of mistakes in here, like the color for this arrow and this arrow has gone, but again, and this too, but again I will just explain it verbally. So how this works is basically there are 3 players. This is me, Devesh, this is you, and this is some mutual friend. So we are 3 clients here. Listen server host, client 1, client 2, who are in a single lobby. Assume this is a EOS lobby and we 3 are in a single session, that is a single listen server session. Now we 3 want to matchmake to get into a bigger level, or we need to go to maybe a battle royale game or something like that. So what we do is the client 1 sends its IP and attributes like the game mode selection to the listen server host. Now the attributes don't really contain the game mode information. They also contain beacon information, like what was their beacon values for different things, like what was their beacon value for a server that was on London or in New York or Mumbai, something like that. So it contains that, and then there would be game mode selection and stuff like that, which we did in the third part. So that will be same for all the players, so we don't need to worry about that. But we do need to pass it from the client, so we need to make sure it's right. So we send our IP from the client 1. It's pretty simple in Unreal Stem. I just need to explain the flowchart so you can know what you are doing when you follow the implementation. So from the client 1, you send your IP and attributes to the listen server host. Same from the client 2. Now the listen server host, that is the host of that or the player that invited the other 2 clients, that is me. I will go and tell Edgegap that my team is ready and these are the IPs of the client 2 and client 1 and my, because I have not shown it, but the listen server's host will also include its own IP and attributes like the game mode selection, beacon values, etc. They will tell Edgegap that hey, we are done, and then Edgegap, because it's communicating directly to the listen server host, will give everyone's ticket ID to the listen server host. So Edgegap will create 3 IDs, one for client 1, one for listen server host, and one for client 2, and it will return it to you. It will also make a group ID which will be same for all the 3 players, but the important thing is the matchmaking ticket ID. So when you get the matchmaking ticket ID, what will you do? Because you are the host, you will distribute it to the client 1, client 2, and keep 1 for yourself because you have gotten 3. And then the client 1 will check the ticket status with Edgegap, and if the ticket is deployed, it will join that level. Same for the client 2 and same for yourself. Now one important thing is, for a very simple understanding of this, assume Disneyland is Edgegap. Sorry, Edgegap is Disneyland. You are a father of 2 children. You you take 3 tickets, one for yourself. Your client, like your first child, snatches the ticket from you. Client 2 snatches the ticket from you, and they both check with Disneyland if the Disneyland is open or not. If it is, they go and directly join the Disneyland server. Same for you. You keep on checking if Disneyland is open, and if it is, you go and join it. I mean, I don't know if you're married or not, but anyhow, that said, that's a very nice example, and I thought it when I was recording the video. But getting back to topic, important thing is when this is being done, yeah. So important thing is that I will also cover and I will show a small workaround with it is in a listen server setup wherein you are using EOS or Steam as a lobby setup where you have a lobby and everyone has joined, and not I'm not talking of a party where everyone has just joined over a beacon or everyone has just joined over Steam's party interface. I'm talking of like a listen server where everyone has really joined that world. In that case, because everyone is separately checking for the ticket status, like client 1 is itself checking for the status, client 2 will check, and the server will check. Server will, because server is the one that got the ID, it will always be the fastest to find the server and join, in case if the server deployed was quicker than the distribution of the ticket IDs. So what will happen is, if as soon as Edgegap gives you the ID, you start checking for the status, like, hey, is the ticket deployed? Hey, is the ticket server deployed? And what will happen is, till the time you send the client 2 and client 1 the IDs, the server will be deployed and you will join it, disconnecting the client 2 and client 1, and hence not giving them their ticket IDs. Now in our implementation that we are going to do, we are going to use a player state. In that case, the player state will also be destroyed. In that case, even if everyone has their ticket IDs, you will be the first one to join the server. And even if they have their ticket IDs in the player state, because the player state will be destroyed when the server leaves, they won't be able to join the server. So the best case scenario is you wait for everyone to leave and then the server joins the dedicated server. But in our implementation, we just give a delay of 4 seconds for the listen server. This video is not to give a complete flow, but to show you how everything can be done as smooth as possible. But there are better methods to do that. That said, let's get started. Let me know if you have any doubts, and yeah, meet you in the next part. So let me start by saying that this video is recorded in 2025. So that means it's pretty updated, and I'm recording my voice on the same day I recorded the video, so it should be very much updated. So you know how we created the matchmaking tickets in the part 3 of the series, like we use this node. So in the same way, we will be doing create matchmaking for a group. So we just create an empty map for lobby as we discussed in the start of the video. We will be keeping it in the levels folder, and this lobby map is the place where all the players will meet and start a group matchmaking. So I will just name the map group, lobby map. And again, if you're using EIK or SIK or any other subsystem, the logic will be a bit different. So let's create a new widget which would be named WBB lobby. Menu, and yeah, and we can copy the UI from the main menu itself because we will save time doing the work here. Print here, and we can remove one button. We only need one, which will say start team matchmaking, and only the host will be able to click on it. And we can add another button here to find and join a session, that is an Unreal session. For now, we will be using a LAN session so that we can show you joining a session locally and then testing. But if you use SIK, I will tell you where to change the logic. So here I will just find a session that is again a normal Unreal session. So find an Unreal session, get owning player, and set the max results to something valuable, and then use LAN. If you want to use EIK, just use the find EIK session node here, or find SIK as per the plugin that you want to use. Then check if the first index is valid, and then if it is valid, then join the session. Again, this is the basic Unreal node that comes with Unreal itself. And in the owning result, just get the first value because we know it's valid. And on false, create a session. This is again normal creating node, and the LAN will be true. Make number of public sessions to be 4 if the lobby has 4 players. And on success, open level. You can also use execute, but I will be using open level because it works fine. I'm not a server, so that will do fine. So options will have the listen parameter. So we are starting a listen server session. You can know more about this in the EIK series. We have covered it in great detail. The lobby map again will have the third person template as the base, and we will just create a widget on the server. So we will just check if it's a server. If it's a server, we will create a widget for the lobby menu. If you watch the video till the end, we will change this logic to show the status to all the players. But for now, we will just check if it's a server, then only we will add the widget to the viewport, and that should be it. So if we test with 2 players, we make it 2 standalones, we should be able to join lobby. Okay, find and join. So this will find and then join a session. Okay, so you see we are in now. And now the same way, if I find and join, we should join the second session. And we joined. Okay. And you see we don't have the widget which the server has. So till now, everything seems to work fine. And we need to just code the start team matchmaking button. Now for this start team matchmaking, make a on pressed event, and then we need to create a group matchmaking ticket, which is again pretty simple as we have already created a single ticket. Here I can just select game mode because there should be something correct here. And then let me open up lobby map and go to a player state and create a BP player state. I will keep it in the blueprints folder. And before continuing, I will just tell why we need a player state. And that's because player state is replicated to all the clients. So for instance, I and you join a single session. You are a client and I am a server. So I need some information from you that cannot be passed on from the controller. Although the controller does exist on all the clients, like it exists for the client itself and the server, but it does not exist on all the clients, whereas the player state does. So normally player state and the character are the best places to replicate important stuff, and that's why we are going to use player state. This is not the best method to do it. There are much better methods. Maybe you don't even replicate attributes. What we are currently going to do is we are going to replicate the attributes that are required. So the public IP, we are going to replicate it as a replicated variable and then going to use that. But that's again not the best method to do stuff. If you want, you can basically maybe when the player presses on a start team matchmaking button, you can make a RPC call to all the clients, request their information, and then start matchmaking. But this is the simplest approach that I found. So in this player state, we will get the location beacons, we will find the best locations and do everything that we did for the start matchmaking button as a single matchmaking button in part 3. Whatever we did, we are going to do here, and it's going to store it as a variable that is replicated and available for all the other clients, so that the server can take each client's value and make a group ticket. The create group matchmaking ticket requires everyone's attribute, including everyone's public IP, so the server, that is the Edgegap server, can find the best location that suits everyone on the team. Let's go. Now on the event graph, on event begin play, check what the current level name is, because whatever logic we want, we only want to do it on the lobby map. So we are hard checking it. Again, you can use a separate player state for different levels, but for now we will just make a simple check, and we will check, we just want this to run on a local client. So we will just get the controller, which I forgot where it's stored, somewhere here. Yeah, get player. Yeah, this one, that get player controller under player state. We will check if it is a local controller, and if it is, then we execute the logic, because the event begin play fires on both the server and the client. We only want it to be executed on the client. So we will create a server function for setting the attributes on the server, which will be replicated. So we will just make it run on server. We will add a new attributes string, which is again going to be replicated. So let's replicate it here and set the value here. And we can call the function here. Now we need to pass the attributes which we will get from the main menu. Remember how we created this ticket and got this final attributes value? We need to copy the complete stuff. Yes, from the beacons to the end, everything has to be copied, and then whatever the beacon value we get, whatever the final attribute we get, we will pass it to the server. I will just show the logic and we will paste it here. So we will start with get location beacons, and then we will convert it to an array, then start the latency function, remove this, start a timer, and then we will set the attributes for the game mode and the beacons, and we will get the final string. Now on this string we will call the function again, which is the function that we created, this one, and we will pass the string here. We also need to replicate the public IP, but we will do it in the second half. Don't worry about that. And here when the host, only the host will be able to press this button. We will show how. Get the game state and then get the player array. This is a default Unreal function and it is present in Unreal. So get the player array and cast to the BP player state. Now from the player state, get their attributes and create an array of it. Now what we can do is we can do the complete function and then execute the logic here. So from onCompleted, call the create group matchmaking and make an array of the members function. Just make an array of it and we can just name this members list. Now we can add this attributes to the members list. So drag the members list and then call add. You can also call add unique, but in my case we will be testing locally, so this add unique will not work. I will just pass the attribute here, but the add unique will not work because we will have the same attributes and the player IP for all the players, that is the local testing players. So we need to use the normal add. You can, in a real game situation, you can use the add unique. And now we can need the profile. So in our original create matchmaking function, we will just get the profile name, the matchmaking URL, and the auth token, like that. And then we will have a response on the create group matchmaking ticket. Before that, let's come back to our player state, and here where we passed in the attributes, let's get the public IP. You see we have a Steam function, so if you're using Steam you can use that. Pass it to, let's create a new variable for public IP first, because I think we did not do that. Make a public IP function, make it a string, make it replicated, and set it here and pass it here. So a field is created, and now we can pass in the public IP from here, the IP address. Now when that is done, we need to go back to our lobby widget and set it there too. So because as of now, if you remember, the lobby IP is passed empty. So if we go back, nope, it's not here. I think, this one. So we will just get the public IP and pass it to the player IP. So it's the same thing. Both are public IPs, but yeah. And now from here we can get the player tickets. We can just print the on failure. On failure, we just print the error. We can get the player tickets and form a loop, because as you see, it's a loop now. We fixed it in between the videos. This function was just added last night, so this is a loop now, array now. So make a for each loop, and then get you will see we have some entries, that is what's the created time, what's the status, what's the ticket ID, and what's the assignment. Assignment will normally be null before that, but yeah, there are a few different values that we need to pass. So what we can do is we can just directly pass this complete array to the player. Like we can completely pass this entry to our clients, and then the clients can check the matchmaking ticket status. So for doing that, let's create, let's comment this replicate IP and attributes, or info, whatever you want to call. Let's create a new custom event for which we can replicate this. Create a new custom event. So that's not working. Yeah, custom event. And we will name this server set Okay, so my keyboard has some issues. Assign ticket to user. So because we will be getting an array, we need to assign tickets that are created by the Edgegap server to each of the players. And then we need to send it to the client so the client locally can test it. So basically the server will be giving, hey, this is your ticket to the Disney World. Hey, this is your ticket to the Disney World. Make sure you have the entry. And then the local client, that is your children, maybe they will keep on checking on the website that, hey, did the Disneyland open? And if it did, they can enter. Nice example though, right? um, so we will just make from here where we have it for each loop, we will get the player state player array again, cast to it, and we can remove the first for loop. We don't need it. This was just for showing you. We can just directly put it in, and then from the player state we can call server assign team user, and then from player tickets we will get the entry and pass in the array element that we want. So we have 5 players, 5 tickets. We will just give everyone the array the ticket depending upon their array index. And then on the client, what we will be going to do is doing the same thing that we did on our lobby widget. On our main menu widget. We are going to check the ticket ID status. That is, your children will check for the Disneyland entry opening. So we will run a loop on every 1.5 seconds and check if the ticket has the server opened or not. So create this and get the matchmaking ticket, and everything else should be doing or should be correct. One small thing that we may need to add later is that the server cannot join instantly, because if the server is the first person to join the server, everyone else will get disconnected and the player state will die. So we need to make sure that we have a small delay if the host, if this is a host, so that the clients can first check and join the server before everyone disconnects to the lobby. This is just to make sure that the session is not destroyed, like the lobby session is not destroyed before everyone has left. And this looks pretty solid. Now technically everything should work, but it won't. No, it will, I think. Let's see, hopefully it will. Let's find and join. Let's see. Yeah, so the pinging has finished, so we should be able to find and join lobby for the second player. Yeah, and then pinging is going on. The pinging has finished. Now we should be able to start a matchmaking. Start team matchmaking. We don't know the status, but we can check in the output log, and you can see it's finding tickets. And now we both are on the server. Now our simple profile only requires 2 users for the matchmaking profile, and we both were in the same team. So we both went into the matchmaking, and because we satisfied both the required limitations for it. And now the next thing is we remove this branch because now we want to show the status to the players. So let's modify our UI. So here on the is enabled, we will create a bind. Where is it? Create a bind. So the start team matchmaking button, because now it will be shown to the clients too, it should only be enabled for the server. Now, if this is only enabled for the server, what you should be doing is you can go to create a text and then add it to the vertical box and just give it a status text, and make it change the font maybe to just look good and add some binding. Again, this is just some personal preferences. I just need to look it good. And now let's create a new function maybe which will say set or update status, and we need to create that text as a variable. It's time for me to sleep, but I will continue recording my voice. And then set text, and then format the text so that it says text status in start, and then X. Now this has to be a string, so we will just pass in a string here and name this maybe status or something like that, status, and pass it to the X, so it's a wildcard entry as. And now things look pretty good. So how do we update this text? This can be updated because we are calling it from our if you see, okay, so my bad, in between updates we changed the data type to be matchmaking response because both had the same form, so just update it. That's really bad that I could not record this before, but that's because both the things have the same form, so we just use a single response. So it's a pretty simple fix, and you should be seeing it while we record. Yeah, that was just a small fix that we added. So now when that is done, let's go back to our player widget, and here when we call the function, if you see we have a status function. It's somewhere here. Yeah, on the get matchmaking ticket we have this status entry. So let's open up the status entry and we can send this to the widget to show. This will be valid because this is running on all the clients. We can get the widgets, get widgets of class. We pass in the class reference to be the lobby menu, get the reference of the lobby, and set text, that is the update button text. And in the status you can pass in the status directly. Again, you can modify it how you want, but I'm not going to show too much because it would be wasting your time. And then yeah, one more thing that we can do is, let's do that later. Let's first go back to our main menu and play. Where's my second client? Yeah, find and join. Yeah, this will create a lobby. And now I can just quickly go and create find and join here too. So we will join our second player. We both are in, and we can start the matchmaking before when it finishes pinging. Yeah, we can just start team matchmaking. And it says team found, match found. We have a 4-second delay, so we did found the match, and one player has joined the server, but looks like it's lagging or something. No, we crashed. For sure we crashed. Yeah, so I got a debugger message. We crashed because of some get level. Now this is not related to the plugin, but the level itself. So I think the third person level is using world partition, and 5.5.1 has some bugs. I am not sure, but let's do one more thing which I was going to say is move this 4-second delay to the time when we join the level. Again, this is not required compulsorily. It's just because I want to be safe that every client joins before the server itself goes to the server, like the listen player server goes to the matchmaking server. Now here I have the updated server and the version, but something is going wrong. So what I will go do is because I think it will crash again. It's a bug related to world partition. If I create create team matchmaking ticket, match found, so a server will get created, and let's go to deployment and check. Yeah, so you see a server, see these many servers I have tested. Yeah, it's deploying that server. And yeah, I also wanted to show that it's near me. That location bug has been solved when it released, and now the server is very near to where the actual player is. And because I think I'm in a restricted plan, you only see a less number of servers on the map, but there are 615 locations. as you know. But something is going wrong and this server is keep going on deploying. So let me tell you something. If you see the active caching is off, make sure you turn it on, even if you're just testing. I think they themselves said that. Because this server will take around a minute to deploy for the first time. But if active caching is enabled, the second time it will only be 2 to 3 seconds on the same server. So if I again test it on the Mumbai server, it will go down from 1 minute or 2 minutes to 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 4 seconds, or something realistic. So I also think that maximum time to deploy was set on my application. My server will start, you see it started terminating because it tried for 120 seconds, and if I show my matchmaker, it tried for 120 seconds, it was not able to get it running and it is closed. So it will do 3 retries. So we have max retry set to 3, but this is the third try, I think, and this will not work because, and you see the UI says match found. Okay, so you see that this terminated, but it had a 199 second, and we don't have any servers now, and it says matchmaking says cancelled. And if we press on start team matchmaking again, this will not work because you remember our policy says that we can, simple profile says that we can have a maximum of 2 players, but there are 4 players. Technically not 4 players, but we do have 4 players. Let me show you how. So here we are not clearing this array, and that's why for the first time it adds 2, and then again the time you press button it will add 2, so it will be 4 players, right? And now I have deployed a new version with a new level. I removed the third person level and replaced it by a third simple level that's not a partition level. And now if I start matchmaking, I should join nicely. So things should be good. Let's quickly test. Okay, is the deploying finished? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we can test. Press start team matchmaking. Both get match found, team found, match found, and it should be deploying the server now. And yeah, the server is ready. So we should join. Oh, we joined. So we are on the same server, and it was pretty quick. So you see the first time it takes a 2-minute time, but after that it's like hell fast. Like I have used PlayFab, so I know how quick that is. It's damn fast, man. Like 2-3 seconds is nothing when you compare this big of a server scale. So again, when I press on, let me just terminate all the sessions and you will see how fast it creates a server. I just need to show that. And if I press on start matchmaking, team found, match found, and you will see, oh, we are already in the server. So because this is a 4-second delay, so the server joins after 4 seconds, but you saw how fast that was. Like I was about to reload, and till then we had already joined the server. So you can even see the deployment time on the menu. I think it's around 3 seconds for this session, I think. Let me see one thing. If I go on the matchmaker and then EGIK matchmaker, you can see, yeah, we have the team count and the team size set to 1 and 2. So for more than 2 players, it won't work. You will have to modify stuff for here. And let me just quickly close my, so I can show it with 3 players. Let me close my matchmaker and edit it to change it to maybe 3 players. So one team of 3 players. This is what that says. So quickly, let me start it. And it's started now. Let's test with 3 standalones. And then if I find and join lobby, and then on the second one I find and join lobby, and on the third one I will just do a simple start matchmaking. So and the third one I will just press start matchmaking, so it's doing beacons and it make a simple matchmaking ticket, and now it's checking for status. I'm not printing the status, but now if I call start matchmaking, it is searching for sessions and it match found, and all the 3 should join the same server. So the screen is stuck, so I believe they are joining. And yeah, there are not, oh, okay. So my heart was stopped for a second, but all the 3 players were in a single session. So that too works. So we showed how group matchmaking worked with a single matchmaking ticket. So that too works. One small thing that I wanted to add before ending this video is if you go to your deployments and you see, yeah, it took 4 seconds. If you go to container logs, you will see all the environment variables. And Unreal, our plugin has a function named get environment variables, from where you can get all the tickets, and then from all the tickets you have the group IDs. So you can match the group IDs to find which player is from which team. So if the group ID matches for two players, they both were in the same team when matchmaking. So you can use that. It's pretty easy to do that. Just get the environment variable, which I think I showed in the second or third part. You can get the environment variable, convert it to a JSON and use that. If you need an example, let me know on Discord. I can create a separate video on it or just share a blueprint with you. So if you need, just let me know, but it's pretty simple. That said, thanks a lot for watching. Meet you in the next one. My throat is now going off. I have like for 28 minutes I've just gone speaking. Thank you. Meet you in the next one with the backfill video.